Welcome, Rick. I know we have a short time, so nice having you here.
Thank you.
Rick, let me just start quickly by first of all, mentioning to everyone that Rick Nava is running for County Council for West Maui. And Rick, it takes a lot of internal strength and conviction to run for a county council seat. So what is it internally that has motivated you to take this big step and run for office?
I ran last election and previous to that back in 2014. Again, because of my involvement in our community and also as a business owner, my filing was actually last minute. And seeing what's been happening in our council and as a business owner, I feel that I have a lot to offer, especially for the people here on Maui when it comes to being a business person. And I think that's kind of like what someone that we could use in our council. And again, my passion of always doing my best and helping and making a difference in the community is basically what's the fire that made me want to run for office again.
So, Rick, could you give a little explanation when you talk about a businessman and you're involved with business here in Maui County? What specifically are you involved in?
Well, I've been a business owner since 1988. I've experienced the downturn in 2007, whereby at that time I had about 70 employees. Currently, I have 20 employees, all the way up to March 16th, when I furloughed all my employees, still hoping that once the economy or once the tourism comes back online, that we could slowly reopen. I am also the current chairman of the board for the Maui Chamber of Commerce, as well as been very involved with the Rotary and the Lahaina Rotary Club of Lahaina, the West Maui Taxpayers Association, where back in 2017, I was also the president of the West Maui Taxpayers Association, and and of course, like I said, the Rotary, where I was the president for the Rotary Club of Lahaina on 3 different terms. Again, I believe my experience in running all of that, and of course, a 29-year military personnel. So, I believe that I have a lot to offer for the people of the County of Maui.
So with this background and working then with the local businesses, in terms of our transition that we're facing right now, what are some of the main things that you've been talking about when you go to the Rotary Club and other groups? What are you supporting personally, and what would you like to see happen if in office?
Yeah, the one thing I had hoped that would happen is that our government would reach out more and include the business owners as far as making the decision on how to move forward in reopening our economy. Business owners know what they need to do as far as their businesses. The challenge a lot of us are having right now is that we always have this moving target, and I believe they're not getting any input from our business owners. Now, the big thing right now, before all of this was happening, everybody was talking about we need to diversify our economy. That's fine and good, that's great, but I think at this point in time, to really move forward, we need to look back into what has been making this island move forward. And that was our, with the small businesses and our tourist industry. It will be a while before our tourism will get back to normal here because, even though we're going to open up the island sometime in July, people are still going to be very nervous traveling to Maui. So it's going to slowly come in. And that's the scary part right now is that, we already have this high unemployment rate, and I am afraid that the worst might still be out there.
So you mentioned, Rick, that you'd like to see us go back to normal. And I guess when you look at what normal was prior to the pandemic, we were at a carrying capacity of about 42%. And when we look at the studies done, they looked at really our carrying capacity of 33% is ideal for our community. So when you're looking at going back to normal, are you going back at having it the way it was, especially where you live in Lahaina, you got to witness traffic. So
Yeah. That normal that I'm talking about, that's never, it would be a long time before we get back even to that 33%. I have spoken to several of the hotel people, the general managers. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Marriott basically said they're not going to open up until October. And as I said, people will slowly trickle in here. And as long as they have this the coronavirus in the air, I don't think it will be a long while before we see it. As you know, when this thing shut down, when our tourism shut down, it was kind of like the peak season where spring break was coming on, the tourists is about to start packing up the hotels and everything, and it shut down. Again, yeah, you're right about the traffic that we have here. I mean, it's beautiful as it is right now. I mean, when you see forecasts, it's like, oh, we have traffic jam here. But going back to the numbers that you had said, I really do not see that happening. I don't even really foresee that happening even probably next year. But the fact of the matter is that we need to slowly reopen up our economy and start bringing in, our island to the tourist industry. Of course, having said that, there's got to still be something in place where we could definitely be able to handle our incoming visitors. One of the things that I've been kind of like talking about is that, this testing that's being done, whereby, I know it's going to cost a lot of money, but there's got to be some investment here for the safety of the people, though it's still, I guess not 100% correct, whereby if we could somehow check the people before they board the plane and then check them again before they deplane. How that could be done, I mean, again, everything is going to be different. When we come here in Hawaii, they want to attend the luau. Well, going to a buffet at the luau, that's going to be changed as well. So it will be a different normal from the way I see it.
Okay, thank you for that. And Sylvia, do you want to go next? And then we can have Daniel and then Jason.
Yes, thank you, Rick, for coming.
Oh, you're very
I'm glad I got a hold of you. How can we support small business owners on Maui?
As a member of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, we work really, really hard with the micro business loan that the county. Thank you to Mayor Victorino for putting it out there right now. But as far as right now, with the budget coming through, there is this CARES Act that is out there. This is where we hear the local people here in Maui right now. I don't know, back in October, November, I think, where we had this Made in Maui, where we had all the local businesses out there trying to sell their product. But at this point in time, without the visitors out there, again, that would be really difficult to kind of like support some of the businesses that we have just on our own. For instance, over at Front Street, as you know, I would say 95% of those shops there cater to our visitors. When they open open it up a little bit, some of the shops actually open, but nobody's there. Sadly enough, when I'm driving there, the only people that are walking up and down Front Street are the homeless. And until we start having visitors, we do have the timeshare owners who are here, but as you know, most of these people actually, they believe that they're also kama'aina, so they don't go to Front Street. They're here to enjoy our beautiful beach. So, the trinkets that they buy, those little gifts that they bring back to their family, they're not into that. They know that they can purchase that at Costco or at Walmart. So it's very, very difficult until what we call the real tourists start arriving here. And other than, again, the federal, the state, and the county giving these businesses some type of subsidy with what they're doing, but I don't know how long they can continue with that. The other challenge that we're having right now, and this is one of my challenges, is that we are losing some of these people. They're moving back to the mainland, because of our dependency on the tourism. They don't know when we're going to open. And for those people that have family in the mainland, they're basically saying, well, Rick, I'm moving back to the mainland. I'm going to move in with my parents. And because there's nothing for them here right now. Fortunately, actually, and as I told people, some of these people are actually receiving a lot more money because of that, that additional $600. So I said, you know what, you need to save that because we still don't know when we're going to open. But, of course, I think they're saving it because there's no place for them to go shopping. So it's very, very difficult for everyone right now. But other than financial support and doing our best to bring back the tourists, we're going to be put on the hold status here.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass you on to the next questioner.
Aloha, Rick.
Aloha, Daniel. How are you?
Doing fabulous. I'm glad you could join us today.
Yes, sorry for the delay there, but yes, sir.
We've been having some technical difficulties myself, but we're getting through it. So I'm going to start with this question with you. As a public representative, it is a duty to face the truth and to act righteously. These islands reflect the lowest voter turnout in the United States. On May 15th, 2019, Dr. David Keanu-Sai gave a presentation to the Maui County Council, evidencing the illegal overthrow of Queen Liliuokalani in 1893 and showing clear violation of domestic and international law with the ongoing illegal United States military occupation of the Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands. As a candidate for public representation, how do you rectify handling the truth of Dr. Sai's presentation, as well as the works of the Ko Hawaii Pai'aina office in Hilo, Keamoku Kapu, Henry Noah, Emilio Gora, Bumpy Kanahele, Leon Su, Dr. Desaias, Madame Ruth Bolame, etc.? How do you rectify the compliance of the law in restoration of occupied lands?
I'll be honest with you with that. I've not really dug into that only because, I had believed that in this situation, this is not in my pay grade as a council member. I talked to, Keamoku about certain aspect of all of this, but as of right now, I can't really respond to that intelligently. I know about all the situation and all that, as and the history of that, but I have always looked at it that this is between the federal and the state, and as a council member, it is up to me then to educate myself and figure out where can I come in to support whatever I feel is right for the people of the state of Hawaii.
Okay, I understand that. Did you get a chance to watch the presentation from Keanu-Sai?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
It would be interesting for you to take a look, and if you have taken a look at what council member on the Big Island, what was her name? She was in the county council and questioned this as well. And there was actually a big precedent case, Jen Ruggles. Are you familiar with her story?
No, they mentioned to me briefly on that one, but as I said, my focus has always been just the county of Maui. Again, especially with the coronavirus happening with the economy, and there's the two big issues, of course, right here is the economy and the housing, and of course the water. Those has been my focus, and I've really not paid much attention of that particular subject, only because, as I mentioned earlier, I feel that that's kind of like more in line with what our people in the state and the federal government is doing.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We're going to pass it on to the next.
Rick, I just wanted to mention that it is 6 o'clock right now. You mentioned that you may have something at that time. I know that we started a little bit late, but so it's up to you. We'd love to have you continue.
No, it's okay. I think we just have Jason right now, so we can move forward because I know Jason's been trying to corner me forever. So I would hate to run away from Jason again. So no, let's move forward.
Good. Okay, Jason, you got him. Go ahead.
Firstly, Rick, thank you. As you know, I'm not part of the Maui Pono Network. They asked me to come for questioning, and I am an independent decision guy. They like to kind of look through the candidates. You and I haven't talked much, but you're talking like me. You're interested in knowing what's going on now. We got the COVID thing. We got an economy that's tanking. We have a problem with food security. Young Brothers and all those guys want 25 million. Do you have any ideas of what we can do? And when you get to the council, what you can add there to help solve some of the issues going on now?
You know, the issue with the Young Brother, I think the state really should, look into that deeper, because that will affect everybody as we are right now. I mean, really, that is not something to just kind of like, okay, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We got enough people to look into this and really figure out what's going on. The situation that I was very, very frustrated, and this is something that I actually emailed the governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Murakami Nakamura, is that unemployment. The unemployment is really affecting many, many people's life. I did not receive my unemployment check until last week. And so what I told everybody, I wrote an email to every single state representative, is that this is a way for me also to help, help my community, is that, if a small business can set up an auto-respond on their telephone, why can't the state do that? I understand that the system is archaic, but as far as communication, they could have easily improved on that. You have a system right now that asks the people to file their unemployment online, and if they do not have a computer, to call them, but yet nobody's answering their phone.
So right here, and that's a state issue. So I granted the state could use some improvement, but you're not running for state. You're running for council.
I'm running
for council. I'm trying to see what you would want to do locally. Obviously, you're running with passion, and you're a really great community servant for many years. I got that, but I'm looking at council, and we're always searching for something that can make it better. We need to find housing for people, but we don't have the money. So we take it here and put it here. I'm just wondering to get a feeling for what you'd like to put a spin on what's going on in council.
Okay, I can get to that. But the reason why I did what I did here, Jason, is that what I was doing here right now, I think put a light on the people in the state that would help the people here on Maui, because they're very frustrated because they're not getting any money. Okay, if a person does not pay their credit card, they are exempt from the fee, but yet their interest is going to continue. And thanks to the state, it made the people owe their creditors a lot more money. So I put a light into that, trying to give them ideas as to how they can improve the system to help the people here, not only the county of Maui, but throughout the state. Now, as far as
talk about cutting off all interest, so those things are in discussion, but that's nothing that a council person can do.
No. I did that, because even though I will be a council member, I still believe that I'm also a citizen that I feel I could, help out. So now going in with the hat of a council member, every year, the big issue has always been housing.
Yeah.
And then you have a council member that says, enough with the talk, we need housing. Housing comes up there and they vote no on it. So the one thing that I know, it's making it very, very expensive with people that are buying into the housing, is because it's taking forever to get all this approval. It is all the requirements that they're doing. And so definitely we, the people, the county of Maui, the council members and the mayor and everybody in the county, we will, there should be a way where we could look into it where, I don't know, this might not be a good time right now because of the way the budget is set up, where we could help out in a way we especially with the impact fee, which is huge. The impact fee is what's making these houses very, very expensive to a point where people can really afford it. The county and the state needs to come into that.
What do you mean by impact fee?
Well, there is a requirement for a developer, or I call them home builders, that they need to put a certain amount of money for the Department of Education. They need to put a certain amount of money for the roads, for all the infrastructure. And so because of all this requirement, the home builder, we're not going to say, okay, I'll take the responsibility.
Put those aside to be able to help get more housing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's kind of like what I'm looking at. Again, as far as the businesses are concerned, one of the things that we've done with the Chamber of Commerce, which I will continue to support, of course, is that providing them with this micro loan, whereby they have a certain amount to pay for it just to continue with their businesses. Because in order for us to move forward, I know it's a state issue, but of course, whatever money the state receives, part of that will come to us here on the county, is that nobody's going to be receiving any type of general excise tax. Without us helping these businesses, it would be very difficult. And to have that micro loan to help them continue with whatever small business that they have, not only through that, but also to give employment, 2 or 3 people having a job, still will make an impact in the way we move forward with this island.
Okay. Paul wants to move to the next question. Paul, want to take over?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
So, Rick, my question has to do with the lifeblood of the island. It's a question that's being asked of all the candidates because I think it's so crucial to our future. So, would you support the county asserting eminent domain over the EMI system in order to administer the public trust water resource for the food security necessary for our community?
Hey, Paul, could you repeat that? Because you kind of like, you disappeared for a moment.
Okay. So would you support the county asserting eminent domain over the EMI system in order to administer the public trust water resource for the food security of our county?
When it comes to security, food, and all of that, for the safety, because that's what we in the public service to be doing, is to make sure that our county is always safe. So yes, I will support that. I can't hear you. You're gone.
It means that taking the basically control from Maui Pono and having it be in a different format so that our community can have control over the water resources. Is that what you're saying?
You mean taking over the whole thing? I thought we were just talking about the security of our food. You're talking about the county taking over all the water and all of that?
Right, something to do with our water and how do we have this natural resource that we have? Is it be controlled by an outside foreign company, or is that something that should be controlled by our community? I guess that's the larger question.
That is something that I've been kind of like looking into that with the way the water. I know it's been a big issue with how much Maui Pono is getting in the county. I guess I will need to dig deeper into that before I can commit into anything.
Okay, because it is one of those key issues. Sylvia, does anyone have any final questions? Sylvia, do you have another question of Rick before we end?
There was just one thing I wasn't quite clear about. You're suggesting that, does this apply to developments that we should ease the types of restrictions on developers? Because it seems to me kind of the opposite in a way with some of these larger developments, that they're not actually putting very much into our infrastructure, that they're actually getting a lot of perks to be able to build here, but they're not really putting a lot into Maui.
Well, that's something that I think everybody should take a look at right now. Again, with the infrastructure, I do know that it is a requirement for them to put, to improve the roads or whatever connecting roads it would be to help them, to wherever their development and all of that. So what I am saying is that because what's happening right now is that if the developer is going to put in all that roads, whatever the requirement. Well, what's going to end up happening is that the home buyer is going to end up paying for that. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, the county and the state need to somehow work on this so that it would lessen the cost for our home buyer. Do we really need to put $100,000 per home to the Department of Education? Do we really need to, you know, to put in this much money for the, you know, for the parks and all of that? This is all part of the, this is all part of the impact fee that I'm talking about. You know, where can we work with this so that that home buyer will not have to put in their money into this particular housing that they're about to purchase? Because we all know that, you know, a first-time home buyer to buy a home at $650,000, you know, it's kind of like, okay, but how can we make that so that it's more palatable for our young people to make them a first-time home buyer? And I know that
Okay,
a lot of it comes from the impact fee.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay.
Paul?
I got a question to tack on with that.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel, and then we'll finish it up.
So when it comes to these impact fees, now the question of these fees being applied to the developers, what can you share with us regarding the percentage of affordable homes as of right now, which is as a developing plot, 25% of those lots need to be affordable, and then the rest can be exorbitant mansions anyway. So when we're looking to house the people of the land, should these exorbitant mansions be given a waiver on the impact fee with such low affordable housing being built?
They shouldn't be. You know, they shouldn't be. I'm talking about, when I'm talking about this impact fee, I'm talking about, you know, this housings like the one that's coming up here in Lahaina right now, where you have all their homes. You know, there's not going to be any mansion in those homes. You know, you're basically kind of like, well, no, now it's no longer. They don't call it affordable homes anymore. They're calling it the workforce housing. You know, similar to what Stanford Carr is building here in Lahaina and all of that. You know, as far as all those people out there, I think, you know, we need to take a look at it, you know, depending on the cost and everything. But I am talking about, you know, homes that are being built for our workers, workforce housing. This is what I'm talking about, where we could partner with that home builder, the state and the county, to come in and see what we can do to minimize that fee that, you know, normally it's going to happen, go back right into the home buyer. Because here is the one thing that I've looked at is this. You have a land basically right now that's vacant, okay? So they're paying property tax on this vacant land. The minute those homes are built in that land, we're going to get back all our money, the impact fee or whatever we have through those property taxes that's going to be paid by all those home builders. So it is also an investment by the County of Maui to ensure that, hey, you know what, when we have these people to be able to pay for their home and they're going to be able to move in, now they're able to pay property tax, which of course will make us bring back whatever impact fee that we, you know, invested to have those homes become affordable. So I feel that that is a situation.
Yeah, thank you for making that distinction, because there is a difference between the workforce housing and the big developers who are only going by that law of, say, like
that's the reason why I call them, actually, I call the people home builders. Because whenever the word developers comes in, immediately everybody's thinking about like, oh man, there's going to be another Hyatt here, another Marriott here. No, I'm talking about workforce housing. And this has always been my thing, is that let's work with these people so that it becomes affordable. We will get our money back when these people start paying for their property tax. It's not like we're throwing away their money. That's kind of like how I see that.
Thank you for your clarification.
Great, thank you. And also, just a quick question along that same line, Rick, is about homelessness. You mentioned that when you go down the streets right now, seems like the major population you're seeing are people who are homeless. Certainly, it's something that is happening throughout the entire island, potentially increasing significantly. What would you do for that population who are unemployed?
You know, Paul, the challenge, the one that I'm seeing here, the homeless here in Lahaina, are basically, that's their lifestyle. It's mental health that we need to help with these people. I mean, the challenge right now is that, yeah, there's housing that available for them, but they're not going to go there because a lot of times these people here, I mean, some of them actually hangs out in my office drunk. So it's very, very difficult as far as the people with the families and all of that. We do have some of this housing here that they can move into, but perhaps we could always do more similar to maybe even smaller housing areas. I mean, for the people to at least give them dignity by having this little, even though it's, when I say little, at least it's something that they will have. They'll have a roof over their head. But the challenge that we have here in Lahaina, at least from what I am seeing most of the time, are people that have issues with mental health. I mean, I don't know if you remember about a few months ago when this lady killed this gentleman at McDonald's. And this is where they hang out. They're all by 9 o'clock in the morning, they're drunk. And this is a big problem that we are having here in Lahaina. And I see that also in Kahului, Central Maui. And as far as that's helping them out, you try to help them out the best that you can. In fact, one of the police officers basically said to me, you know what these guys do, Rick? He said, they'll call up 911 for them to help so that they can go to the other side of the island to just kind of like go to the hospital on the 911. So it's insane.
I understand it's a challenging population to work with, and certainly you're dealing with drug addiction and mental illness for that population. So, but thank you again for your concern and your wanting to look at that on some level. We need to end at this point in time. So, Jason, do you have one final quick thing, or should we have Rick just give his information about how people connect with him?
My quick thing is I'm not trying to corner you ever, Rick.
No, I didn't mean that to be a negative way. You corner me in a way that you and I can sit down, because we're always kind of like, so I'm sorry.
No, I think you should kind of end it and give us what you want us to really hear from you.
So, again, like I said, I filed a very last minute to run for office because I really thought that, this is, it wasn't for me. But I was looking up ahead, and it's about time for. I'm about to probably retire from my business, and seeing that I really believe that I have the ability as a leader and as a business owner to make a difference here in our community. I've always been very passionate in making a difference. Even though I am not in the office, I've always been very involved in the community. And similar to what I just told you about the unemployment, I wasn't doing it just because I was going to run for office. I was doing it just to help out the people who are not getting it, to give them an idea to help to reach out to the people and let them know, hey, because I'm all about ideas, giving people ideas, that empowering people. And I think that's what we need here on Maui, is that even though you're in that office, you don't have all the solution on yourself. Because the one thing I will definitely be doing if I am elected is that I really would love to have a quarterly meeting with the people here in Lahaina and hear them what they have to say to me. Because we can't, when they have to testify from Lahaina to go there and not able to give them the, the ability to speak to you. And some of our elected officials, they become untouchable after a while. And I think that's what we need to do more. I don't know if you saw me when I was running for office the last time. I actually walked around with a name tag. And if I'm ever elected, I plan to wear the name tag so that if people want to stop me at Costco and go like, hey, Rick, you jerk, what's going on? I want to be able to hear the people, and that's exactly I think where I come in is that, like people said, I'm very easy to talk to. I'm also a tutor with the kids here. I tutor the kids at Lahaina Intermediate. And so I think the ability for me to be able to be approachable is very, will help us tremendously. And again, living together in this, in this land of aloha, I think it is important that we're all there together.
So Rick, again, you just mentioned how important it is for people to communicate to you and the communication process. So how can people get in touch
I'm sorry?
with you? And if they want to learn more about your how can people get in touch with you? And how can people learn more about your platform? And also where they could get in touch with you in terms of supporting you financially, if they would like to do that.
So, I mean, of course, my email is rick@msimaui.com. And everybody can call me at 808-298-3953. Also, when I walk around, I have a business card that I give people if they just want to talk story with me, give me a call. I'm about to reactivate my Facebook page that I use for my campaign, but I do have a Facebook account where I basically promote my grandchildren and their activities. But I'm easy to find because, again, of my involvement with the Maui Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club of Lahaina, the West Maui Taxpayers Association, and so, and of course you can just Google my name, NAVA, and I pop out. So, but yeah, I welcome people to talk to me. I want to hear people's ideas and how we can all work together, because one of my hope actually is for people to actually go out there and vote. Please vote. Your vote is your voice. This is how you make a difference. Everybody's saying, it's only one vote. No, your one vote makes a difference. And this is where I'm reaching out to, is that, your vote is your voice. This is how you can make a difference to the county of Maui, to the state of Hawaii, and to to our federal government, to the world. That's how we are. That's what we need to do. We need to vote.
Thank you for that, Rick, and I certainly agree with you, and we would like to remind our viewers, if you haven't registered at this point in time, you can go to our website, mauipononetwork.org, and we have a direct link then to the state registration for voters so that you can get your mail-in ballot, and that'll be happening, again, July 21st, and we'll be having then some of these races that will be in the primary, including the one that Rick is involved in. We have 3 contestants for this county seat. So again, it'll be part of the primary race. And again, your vote is very important, and become informed. Rick, is there anything else you want to do before we sign off?
I just want to thank all of you for being so patient with me. I am sorry for the for the glitch there to begin with, but fortunately for me, thanks to technology, I'm able to text while we're talking here, so it all worked out. Again, Sylvia, Daniel, Jason, of course, Paul, thank you for your time as well. Appreciate it. And again, please, if you have any further question or any other, whoever's out there listening to us, watching us, give me a call at 298-3953. I'd be more than happy to discuss with you, whatever it is that you're feeling. Or if you want to help with my campaign, please, I'm always, in need for people to help spread the word. So again, mahalo everyone, and please take care and be safe out there.